Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Clique, and today we're going to be looking at my top 5 best budget gaming mice for fall 2020. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just wanted to try out some more mice before I give you guys my final thoughts on the list. Keep in mind that this is my personal list of the best mice that I think that you should get for your money. I'm not going to be listing the best mice, and I'm also not going to be listing the absolute cheapest mice either. This list is going to be about getting the most value for every dollar that you put forward towards your mouse. Every mouse on this list I've personally used and game with except for one, and I'll let you guys know which mouse that is when it comes up, but I want to let you guys know that I stand behind the list that I'm making. I really love every mouse on this list, and I can personally vouch for each one. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. First on the list, we have the Razer Viper Mini. This mouse comes in at the $40 price point, which makes it one of the cheapest mice on this list, and one of the cheapest quality gaming mice in general, at least in terms of the price. However, when it comes to the actual quality of this mouse, you're getting an absolute steal for the specs. First, this mouse has the very safe but great shape of the Razer Viper, one of Razer's best-selling mice, but just in a smaller, mini form factor that the name implies. It has a 61-gram weight, which is awesome for anyone who's looking to play any competitive shooters or games where you're going to want to have a low sensitivity, since the mouse won't feel heavy when you make large movements. While the mouse does have an ambi shape as opposed to an ergo shape, it does only have side buttons on the left side of the mouse, so lefties are going to be out of luck on this one. This mouse uses the Razer optical mouse switch, which uses an optical sensor to send signals to your computer with an infrared light beam, as opposed to traditional physical moving parts. This removes any usual debounce or regular lag that you may get while using a traditional mechanical switch, which is going to give you one of the fastest response times possible with this mouse. The Viper Mini also comes with Razer's SpeedFlex cable, which is a very good mouse cable that's flexible and will reduce cable drag to give you more fluid swipes and more of a wireless feel when gaming. While the SpeedFlex cable is very good, it's not up to par with some of the higher quality paracords on mice that I've used on like the G-Wolves Hottie, but for the price that you're getting it at, it's one of the best in its price range. The bottom of the mouse has 100% PTFE feet, which is going to give you a really smooth glide on your mouse pad, and the sensor on this mouse performed exceptionally well. With me testing it over 40 hours of gameplay, I never experienced any lag, spin out, or any inconsistencies in the sensor. Finally, the mouse RGB, polling rate, and other settings are backed by the Razer Synapse software, which in my experience has been very good as far as customization and ease of use. Overall, for what you're getting here, I think Razer could have charged almost $60 for this mouse, and at the $40 price point, you're getting an absolute steal, and I can absolutely recommend this to anyone looking for a high-performing mouse at a budget cost. Second on the list, we have one of my personal favorite mice, which I use on and off as my main mouse, which is the HK Gaming Mira S. This mouse was originally priced at $50 at launch, but since then has dropped an additional $10, bringing the total price down to $40 for the black colorway. The shape of this mouse is my absolute favorite, with it being that safe egg shape that's very reminiscent of like a G Pro Wireless Mini. That shape combined with the weight of this mouse really makes this a killer for me, and that's why it's one of my favorites. It's also built like an absolute tank with no flexing at all on the top, side, or front of the mouse. This is because the inside of the mouse is reinforced at some of the points where there would usually be flexing, and this really helps with the overall build quality and sturdiness of the shell. The Mira S weighs in at a mere 61 grams, with a variance of 1 to 2 grams between copies, and does feature that honeycomb shell trend that we've been seeing become very popular in lightweight gaming mice. The sensor on this mouse is the Pixart 3360 sensor, which is an industry standard used on mice like the Model O, Final Mouse Ultralight 2, and the G-Wolf Skull. The pair quality is one of the best stock cables on this list, with the weave being very tight and the cable being flexible. The feet on this mouse are made from PTFE material, which helped give it a great glide. The Mira S is offered in a variety of different colorways, and HK now offers a Mira M, which is a slightly larger and slightly heavier version of the Mira S. And the switches on this mouse are the arm-on mechanical switches, which are the same ones used on the Model O. Speaking of the Model O, the third mouse on our list is the glorious Model O and Model O Minus. These mice really changed the game as far as popularizing honeycomb lightweight gaming mice and making them readily available for gamers. There's a reason why it became so popular, and I believe Glorious sticking to their roots, keeping it at that $50 price point, is what's making it sell like crazy even to this day. Looking at the shape, it's an ambi shape that's a great fit for anyone who's looking to try their first gaming mouse. The sensor, like I mentioned before, is the Pixart 3360 sensor that has a great track record of performance and consistency. The Model O weighs in at 67 grams for the matte and 68 for the glossy, while the Model O- is 58 grams for the matte and 59 for the glossy. The feet on this mouse are the G-Skates, which are again PTFE material, which have performed exceptionally well in all the games and tests that I've used them with. Also, the paracord quality is great with the new Ascended cords that are super flexible and light. Button clicks are very clicky and crispy, and the scroll wheel texture is one of my favorites with deep steps in the wheel itself. The overall quality and value that you get with the Model O really solidifies why it's one of the most popular gaming mice and why it continues to sell like crazy even to this day. Next on the list, we have the Cooler Master MM710 and MM711, with the MM710 being the lightest mouse on this list, coming in at an insanely low 53 grams. Pricing is going to be $45 for the MM710 and $50 for the MM711. This mouse has a very good shape if you're a fingertip or claw grip user because of the hump in the back of the mouse and how short it is. I really couldn't get myself to use it for palm grip, but your mileage may vary. If you aren't familiar with this mouse, the MM711 is the slightly heavier version of the MM710 with RGB lights added into the honeycomb shell and the scroll wheel. The cable is very light and doesn't get in the way when gaming. The sensor on this mouse is the Pixart 3389 sensor, which is one of the highest quality sensors on the market, and I never had a single issue with it. PTFE feed again on this mouse, with the friction being very low and the glide staying very consistent across your mouse pad. The light weight of this mouse combined with this shape makes this a beast for FPS games or battle royales like Fortnite or Call of Duty, and I think this is a great second mouse to try out if you've already tried out a mouse like the Model O and you want to try experimenting with some different types of mouse shapes and lighter weights. And at the number 5 spot, we have the SteelSeries Rival 3, which is the only mouse on this list that I haven't personally used. However, I've only seen good things about this mouse, and at the $30 price point, I really like the value that you're getting here. It weighs in at around 76 grams, and it does feature side buttons on the left side of the mouse. The shape is also that classic ambi shape with the low front of the mouse and the back having a more raised hump that's going to make it great for claw or fingertip grip. The cable is flexible for not being a paracord or anything like that, and the mouse is compatible with the SteelSeries engine software where you can customize lighting, polling rate, DPI, and more. The feet on the bottom of the mouse are decent from what I've seen, and the mouse comes in a clean matte black finish. The Rival 3 also uses the TrueMove core sensor, which from what I've seen is very solid. With the features and specs that you're getting at this price point, I really can't see a lot to dislike about the Rival 3, and it easily gets my recommendation for one of the top budget gaming mice. Also, a little bonus for you guys, here is my honorable mention for the budget mice gaming list. This was my first mouse that I used when I got into PC gaming, and I literally could not afford anything else. I had only budgeted $20 for my mouse, which I now know was a mistake, but it does give you a decent mouse for the price. Now this mouse by no means is going to be competing with some of the other mice on this list, but if you're really strapped for cash and you only have $20 to spend on a gaming mouse, this is what I recommend. The Pictite gaming mouse comes in at just $17, which is a really low price, and I'm going to keep it real with you guys, you're essentially getting what you're paying for. The sensor is okay, not terrible, but not great either. The shape is actually pretty good in my opinion, I never had any issue with it, and the cable wasn't too heavy. I'm assuming if you're getting this mouse, you probably don't have a mouse bungee, so just like I used to do, I'd recommend you do the old tape the cable to your desk trick and game with things like that to remove any cable drag. This doesn't come with any real skates on the bottom, so using a decent mouse pad is required if you want to be able to play at a low sense. It does have side buttons on the left side of the mouse, as well as 2 DPI adjustment buttons under the scroll wheel. The one thing I did really like about this mouse though is the RGB and the software were both really good. I know that might not be the most important thing, but it is something that I did appreciate. The lighting was vibrant and the software was easy to use and very user friendly. Like I said, you're getting a decent mouse for the price, and I made it work until I was ready to upgrade. Like usual, I'm going to put the links for purchase down below in the description, so if you want to get any of these mice, you can go ahead and do that. I also have reviews on the Viper Mini, Mira S, and the Model O, so if you want a more in-depth look at any of those mice, you can check those out. I'll also link those down below in the description. If you found this video even a little bit entertaining or interesting, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, since it really helps out the channel. And if you're new here, I make all types of content on tech and gaming, so if you're interested in that type of content, consider checking out the channel and subscribing. If you have any questions that you want to ask me live, consider stopping by the Twitch stream where we talk about tech, we play lots of games, and it's an overall good time. Like always, you guys are awesome. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah.